D&D and Minecraft always seemed like a good idea to me because you could get really creative with the sets that you built, and it would just be the most immersive experience. The problem is that I would need to create a system that would work totally vanilla, not only so it could work on realms, but also because mods just like might not be a good option for your computer. And I just wanted to make this system as universal as possible. So the first hurdle that I had to overcome was scale. And so obviously the simplest scale would be 1-to-1, 16 pixels. That's one block. 16 pixels equals 5 feet, which would mean that 3.2 pixels is 1 foot. So that'd be like right about here-ish. Going from here to there, that's about a foot. And so this is a typical like D&D like villager's house. It's not that big. Actually, for a villager's house, I don't know, it might be big. It's just 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet across. You can move across the whole house in one turn. And the height is also about 9 feet tall. It might be 10 feet. Or yeah, actually it is 10 feet. But it's like really cramped and not, it's, I don't know, it's just not very good. It might be hard to move around, around other players and stuff. So then the next one would be 32 pixels to 5 feet. And this one seems really good. This is like the typical scale that most people build in as well. Doors are about the same height. Technically, they'd be a little bit taller, but we can't really change the size of doors. Here's the table as before. The only issue with it is that it's a lot darker, but that can be overcome with light blocks, The next would be 3 blocks is 5 feet, and 48 pixels 5 feet, which means so 1 block would be 1'4". This is just too big. It's just too big. The door has doubled in size. Everything, it's very, very dark. It would be good. Like some of the upsides are that you can put a lot of detail into something. But look at how big this bed is. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So for the system I settled on 2 blocks is 5 feet. So right about there. And here's an example of a medieval tavern. It's not the prettiest thing ever, but I wanted to keep it. I didn't want to sacrifice the scale, because like most people would build with like supports on the outside, but then it's like, that's like 2.5 feet. And so I just wanted to keep it as like D&D-ish as possible. Here's what the inside looks like. I have light blocks everywhere. Everywhere. And you'll see why later. So of course I had to make one of the corners really dark and gloomy because that's where the ranger sits. And I put checkerboard patterns on the floor so you can count your steps and everything, and that all works out. Everything is built, and it's just like imagine starting a D&D game here. You can actually walk around the tavern and inn. Obviously you have to like use your imagination a little bit, but I think it's awesome. So the next big problem was miniatures. And for players, that's simple. For players, you just get friends. You get friends, you open a land world or you hop on the realm. And that's that. But for monsters and NPCs and stuff, I came up with this. You can use pigs or striders. I use striders for monsters and pigs for spell effects. And that'll make sense in a little bit. So this is a pig with no AI. It's silent. and it has some other properties too. And basically, what's good about this is that you can still ride them and move them around, even though they won't move by themselves. So that's just great. You could also. Okay, I swear that was just it didn't move by itself. That was just a glitch. So things like horses won't work because they don't have an item that attracts them, and you can see now it won't come towards the carrot like this. My first idea actually was boats, and boats seemed really good, except they're really big. They have a big hitbox, so it'd be hard to move around things, and you can't make them have names like this. So that's why I didn't use boats. Now, the last thing is the resource pack. This you can technically play it without the resource pack. It just with the resource pack, lighting is much more clear, and so is measuring distance, because when I apply this, here it is, MC and DND. When you apply it, it turns pigs into biblically accurate angels. But yeah, pigs now have like these big radiuses around them. So you can see this is 10 feet out, this is 15 feet, 20 feet, 25 feet, 30 feet. I thought 30 feet was enough. I think like a bow can shoot 120 feet, but you can kind of just like 30 feet, that's like 4 times this or something. You can eyeball it. The only issue is that you have to keep the pig in your field of view. But the only person that really needs to see this whole thing is the DM. And the DM, he can just fly around. Also, here's a hex grid. So you can see there's, oops. Oh, no, there we go. There's a hex grid. Triangle right there. So yes, the other thing that the resource pack changes is how lighting works. And for this, I recommend using smooth lighting turned off. You can use it with smooth lighting, but I think it's just more clear what's going on without smooth lighting. So in D&D, there are 3 lighting conditions. There's bright light, dim light, and darkness. So in dim light, you can't discern color. So I found a solution where I can oversaturate basically all the blocks with red. And so you can't like tell. Here, let me show you something. Here's red wool and here's white wool. If I put the red wool next to the white wool, oh. Well, hold on. There, if I put the red wool next to the gray wool, like you might not be able to tell at first which is which. Of course, you can use F3 and look at it and see the name, but that would be cheating. So it oversaturates the color, so you can't quite tell what's happening. And in darkness, in D&D, you're not supposed to be able to see anything. So I made light level 0 absolutely black. And that's how lighting works. Let me show you this. Time set midnight. Here we go. And also, now you can see why I put the lights everywhere, because I wanted the lighting to be absolutely perfect. Like this, lighting blocks are basically decoration. They don't really, they don't provide that much light. So I got light blocks absolutely everywhere. Here's what nighttime looks like. Terrifying. And if you enable dynamic lights, then a redstone torch is kind of like dark vision. It doesn't have the same range because everything is dimmer in this. But it's like pretty good. And it might make for more like brutal, playing. And here's what a torch looks like. Here's a little set that I built based off of a game that I played a couple days ago. Oh, forest, mysterious. Very good, very good. Here's a little Easter egg. When it's raining, everything turns blue. Blue was another like pretty good choice. Blue is, but I think red is easier on the eyes. So the resource pack will be available in the description, and so is the command. So is the command to get the spell effect pig and the strider. Oh, actually, before I turn this off, before I stop the video, this is how you rename the strider. So here it is. This part right here, right after text and before italic in the quotes, you can call it whatever you want. Like if I wanted an owl bear. So I'm the DM. I'm like, I'm going to need an owl bear. I'm going to need some goblins. I can just get these eggs ahead of time. And then you just get a warped fungus on a stick. And you can, start playing D&D in Minecraft. Apparently these died. I'll make it so that they're invulnerable. I think that... Oh, it's the rain. The rain killed them. Look at that. Huh. Well, I'm going to fix that. But anyway, thanks for watching. And if you have any suggestions on how to make this system better, go ahead and tell me in the comments. That would be very helpful. And goodbye.